All right, what is going on, guys? It is time for another episode of the Chasing Waypoints podcast. And do we have a show today? Ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching Rally Month. But before we get to Rally Month, we've got to get through one of the first. And I say one of the first because, well, it is one of the first rallies that is fully permitted here in the United States. I'm talking about none other than the Cotah Rally. And we have a treat today. This is the Cotah Rally preview show or preview episode. I don't know. I feel like show is more like of a camera thing, but I don't know. We'll figure it out. So we have got some guests on today that know a little bit about the rally. As a matter of fact, it's the three guys over there, including the head honcho, Mr. Mike Graves. And these guys are getting ready for showtime. The Cotah Rally is upon us. So that's what we'll be talking today for this episode. Hope everybody's been doing good. I hope you guys enjoyed the last episode with Scott Spears. Got a chance to learn some stuff. I'm absolutely looking forward to talking a little bit more about motorcycles, man. That guy knows a bunch. So definitely looking forward to that one. Having some fun with these guys. And let me see here. I am multitasking, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys can't tell that I'm distracted, sending the link over to the gents. So who do we got going on today? It is going to be Scott, Mike, and Brian from the Cotah Rally. So I am looking forward to that one. Let's jump back over to the app here. We'll wait for them to come on. I've gone ahead and done that. So yeah. So what does everybody think? How are you guys liking the show? How are you guys liking everything? I think we're doing really, really good, having a lot of fun. So I am absolutely excited. Get everybody in here. Let's go ahead and mute them and bring their mic levels up. So when they start jumping in, we will be good to go. But yeah. So stay tuned. I have got some stuff. I know I promised you guys a video. Well, I have got a way for you guys to get into Rally Raid in a very cost-effective manner. It's going to take two pieces of equipment. Well, depending. If you're riding a bike or if you're going to be doing it from the car, that's going to be a couple of different things. But two pieces of equipment is going to be able to get you into the Rally Raid sport. I am going to be sharing with you how to do that because that is the setup that I will be running for the Adventure Raid stuff. So waiting for the guys to log in right now. Looks like we got Brian and Scott. We'll wait for Mike to jump on before we get him on the episode. Uh-oh. There it is. The three amigos. Maybe just a second here. Turn down this party. Oh, I get these guys in. I really need something to automate that so it's a little bit smoother. Gentlemen.
Good morning, Victor.
Good morning, Victor.
Morning. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
Excellent.
Oh, good.
I'm hoping it's not 90-something degrees already there, where you guys are at. It's just us here in San Diego.
Oh, no. Nice, cool 72 here in Casper.
Nice.
Yeah, about the same here in Loveland, Colorado.
Well,
Colorado.
nice. Okay, so three people on the line, so let's do an intro. Mike Graves.
Yes.
All right. So you are the head honcho, el jefe at Cotah Rally.
Well, I wouldn't say head jefe. I'd say the guy who's...
Oh, it cut out. Internet break. And then let's see who. Yeah. And then we got Brian.
Yeah, so I'm the newest member coming on board. I volunteered last year and have since moved to Colorado. So I'm pretty much working with Mike and Scott, handling some logistics, and then primary duties doing contingency program.
Oh, nice. Yes, we are definitely talking about that. I saw this year a bunch of posts from you guys with the different sponsors and stuff that's going on with you. So we definitely want to talk that. All right. And then Scott.
Yep. So Mike and I started this kind of as a retirement present / challenge. See if two 56-year-old guys could do, at that point, it was like 625 miles in 5 days with camping gear. And then Mike decided that maybe we should make a rally out of it. So.
Nice.
I kind of questioned his logic there at the beginning because you know the difficulties of trying to deal with multiple land managers. So, but we pulled it off.
Yeah. as I was saying in the intro, I mean, it's like one of the first fully sanctioned, like everybody knows what you guys are doing. So that is,
there's
one hell
no
of a feat.
hiding, there's no shortcut.
That is a hell of a feat. Nice. So you guys are getting ready to get started, right? What's I think this week already?
Yep. I'll be going down a day early to get, and I believe Brian will be as well as Mike. So
Nice.
Saturday, the guys will show up and start signing up.
Nice. Yeah, September 10th through the 17th. So coming up. I mean, it's the event's here. So, all right. So let's get into it. Who's talking? Mike, were you talking terrain? What are these guys up against for this event?
So this is Scott, and I'll be talking terrain. So,
okay. Awesome.
So 4 of the 5 days, these guys will be from desert environments around 4,000 feet up to subalpine 10,000 feet. And they will experience every piece of terrain that you can find in those environments. It'll be deep sand, rock ledges, slick rock, boulder-filled grassy slopes. So,
Nice.
there won't be anything except possibly snow, but September, 10,000 feet, there could be some snow. So.
Nice. That is so. Along with that, it sounds like a lot of temperature changes and stuff like that. What is that? Typically what you guys see?
Yeah, September is always a questionable month weather-wise. I mean, it's typically dry, but Mother Nature has a way of doing her own thing, and the nights whenever we're up in the mountains, they'll probably get down into the mid 40s, and then down in the desert, it could be over 100 degrees. So the competitors and the volunteers they'll experience the full spectrum, and more than likely a couple times a day.
Nice. So that's what do you guys? I mean, I did see some of the posts, and I saw one of the more recent posts on your guys' Instagram about the using those tugger straps on the bikes. I know that it sounds like that might be a thing for this year.
It really is a thing for every year, but as we were experimenting with different ways of recovering a bike, using ATVs and UTVs, we found that the easiest way is to have those tugger straps so that we can attach a tow rope to a high point.
Oh, okay.
Because any other way, it will pull the bike sideways. It's really difficult to overcome the physics of not having a straight pull on a center portion of the bike, and that's the best that we could come up with.
Gotcha. Okay, so this is trial by fire, and you guys have checked it to make sure that that's going to be the nice. So
go
ahead.
We had a system that we were going to try, and luckily we experimented with it, and it did not fare so well for the ATV. So
okay, so this is see, that's what I like about this. So you guys are really in like testing. The gear, all of the like. You guys cross cross the T's, dot the I's. I was going to say cross the I's, dot the T's, but that is
sometimes it feels that way. So, yeah.
Right. Nice. So okay, so we'll talk bike setup here in a few, but something that caught my attention is the temperature swings in California. We bitch and moan when it gets down to 49 in the mornings, and then when it's anything hotter than 78 degrees, everybody's in the shade, and man, the hot. This is global warming posts and all that fun stuff. What are you guys recommending gear wise for the event for people dealing with the terrain, dealing with the ambient temperatures?
Well, so I can only go really by what I do, and even when it's 40 degrees, my Mojave pants and jacket feel hot once you get started. You know, it's that waiting around, getting ready. That's whenever you may cool off. But once you're moving, unless maybe you're, a triathlon athlete, you're going to get pretty warm pretty fast. If you dress for the ambient temperature while you're standing around, it won't be very long before you are uncomfortable.
Got it.
You know, pack rain gear, real lightweight rain gear in case we get downpours. That's always a chance.
Mm-hmm.
But because nobody likes being wet.
Nope.
But yeah, you could definitely overdress, but you know, it depends on the individual. I run hot, so
yeah. Okay. So, I mean, that's like, I'm just thinking, okay, well, if I'm heading to the event, participating in the event, it sounds like my best case is something along the lines of like the climb or the Moscow stuff, where you can kind of layer in and be able to shed layers as you go.
Yeah. Shed layers and, you know, compact. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, because it sounds like they're going to be getting some varying terrain, as well with the elevation obviously comes the temperature changes. So
yes.
Nice. And that'd be interesting if they had a little bit of snow to deal with.
It is not out of the realm of possibilities.
Oh man, that would be great.
Some people would probably disagree with you, but yeah, I like riding in the snow.
Yeah, and I don't think riding in the rain is too bad. I've raced in the rain in a vehicle before, and that was a lot of fun out in the open desert. But on a bike, I feel like that's a little bit more of a handful. Especially, you guys get a lot of mud with the dirt and the type of terrain that you guys have up there, or is it usually pretty good even with rain?
Well, so you know, some of that terrain will get stickier and be a lot better than if it was dry.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever you get into into some of that desert environment that has a lot of bent night soil, it can be a nightmare. Yeah, I've been out in some of that stuff whenever it gets good and muddy that your front tire will not turn. It just collects it up, wedges in the forks, and all you have is a plowshare.
And next thing you know, you're collecting soil samples.
Yes. Yeah. usually with your helmet.
Yeah. It usually, I'm guessing, finds its way into the vent hole right at the front.
Oh yeah, it plugs that sucker right up.
It's almost like as if it was designed for that.
Yes, Mother Nature's muffle.
Yeah. Nice. Well, nice. So, what else should the guys know about the terrain and what they're up against this year?
Well, for sure, have your suspension tuned up for. You know, you're not going to be doing any 40-foot tabletops. So,
okay.
The harder you set it up, if you have it set up for a track, it is not going to be fun for you because you'll just get beat up.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of baby head rocks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, softer suspensions. They soak that up. You got to set up for a track. It tends to beat you to death.
Okay. So definitely, like, you know, like a rally bike. If you're headed to the event, then it sounds like you want like that rally bike, super plush feel. Maybe err on the side of soft. You know, if you've got your off-road racing setup versus something that's comfortable. Yes,
because like I said, there won't be any of the 15, 20-foot jumps going on. So
okay. So all those videos we've seen of Dakar of sailing from dune to dune, not a thing?
No. we have some off pastry that I probably blew that word, but yeah, we have some stuff that you could definitely get some air but that's a smaller mileage percentage. So like I said, we're trying to give them everything.
Nice. Well, that's good. So yeah, varying altitudes. which is interesting to see when you guys get into the higher elevations, how some of these guys will do, especially the California boys.
Well, and that's the other thing too. You mentioned the rain earlier. When it does rain at 9,000 feet, due to relative humidity and those raindrops evaporating before they hit you, it is not like a Missouri rain. Can't sit out there comfortably with the bar of soap and take a bath.
Oh man! So challenges ahead, needless to say.
Oh yeah. I don't think anyone will walk away thinking that was a walk in the park.
Well, and that a lot of people did from last year's event. They did say that. I did. There was some talks about that. That hey, this is not. You're not going to necessarily sail through this event. It is designed to be a bit of a challenge. On top of the roadbook navigation, but also rider ability as well. Aside from some absolutely epic scenery.
Oh yeah.
So,
be careful up there. It's easy to get caught up in looking around while you're riding.
And then what's that thing that's been going around? Is 1 minute you're enjoying the scenery and the next you're part of it.
You are part.
Yeah. So there will be none of that, Billy. BT. So I know he's tuning in, ruffling feathers. But We've got the challenge part of it. Let's talk a little bit about the bike side of things. Mike, is he on mute? Maybe he's muted. Hey guys, what's going on? Super quick break in the podcast episode. I hope you guys are enjoying. I just wanted to mention really quick, I've been using the Anchor.fm platform for all of the podcast distribution and everything, and it is very, very simple. So if you guys have been thinking about getting into your own podcast, doing your own thing, talking about your own adventures and what you've got going on your side of the planet, it is very, very simple. All you got to do is go down to your app store, whatever that may be, if it's Android or if it's on Apple, download the Anchor app, or you can also go to anchor.fm, create an account, and get started. It is super, super simple. So anyway, with that being said, back to the episode. Mike, are you there? Oh, might be coming on. No? Okay, well, we'll wait for him to jump back in. Yeah, he's jumping in and out here. So, Brian, let's talk a little bit about the contingency stuff.
Yeah, so very interesting, right? That our contingency program came to be in a very short period of time. We only had a first thought about this back in June of this year. Mm-hmm. And as I mentioned earlier, I come from desert racing in cars, Score, Snore, and More series in the southwestern part of the U.S. and Mexico. So each one of those organizations had a contingency program. So I'm like, man, why can't we bring this to our event? And I proposed that to Mike and Scott, and they were all on board. So kind of picked up that ball and ran with it. And, as with anything, when you reach out to companies, especially in this day and age, it's, you reach out to 100, you might only hear back from a small percentage of them. So that's exactly what happened. We reached out to about 120 different companies, mm-hmm. and we've got an amazing response from 10 very well-known companies from within this niche market we call Rally Raid. So it's been amazing. We kind of approached this in a very informal way where we approached these companies and then we allowed them to decide what they wanted to contribute, be it cash, product, discount, gift certificates, whatever it may be. And we had an amazing response to that. Another unique thing was we left it up to them to determine what positions they wanted their contingency awards to go to and whether or not it was contingent upon a competitor currently using their product, or if they wanted to take the approach of maybe trying to persuade one of our competitors away from a different competing brand. It's been amazing. And to date, we've raised approximately $10,000 in contingency from 10 great companies. Nice. So some of those companies, I'll just go through them, and I'll tell you what they're bringing to the table. So the first one to sign on was Rally Moto Shop. Big thanks to Matthew Glade. They're providing $400 in medical data carriers to every competitor competing. We have F2R, Free to Ride, and H3D. Enrique Lopez there. Again, monumental effort, stepped up. providing us with dealer level discounts on all product lines that they carry. That's got a huge value of up to $5,000. Molimoto Photo. It's my company. We're putting together photo packages for the top 3 podium finishers. It's about $250 in value. Double Take Mirrors, local Colorado company, providing $700 in mirror systems, thanks to Earl Walker.
Nice.
Mira Activewear coming on board with a custom-made rally jacket for the overall winner, and beanies. That package is valued at $900, thanks to Garrett DeToot. And that's an international company, so thanks to them, we have broad reach out there in the community. Mobius Braces, Idaho based company, providing product discounts valued at about $500, thanks to Reader Oyen. Local company Slavens Racing, gift certificates valued at $125 for each stage and the overall winner, thanks to John Slavin and Alec Moorfield. Hammer Nutrition, they're providing fuel and supplement products valued at $900, thanks to Cameron Lingle. We have Countershaft Sprocket. They're coming on board to give the overall winner a countershock system valued at $350, thanks to Nathan Looney. And then lastly, we've got Wolfman Motorcycle Luggage coming on board with some luggage products of an undisclosed value, thanks to Eric Haugen, also a local Colorado company.
Nice.
Yeah, so they're the big ones contributing to the contingency award program. And then I think equally as important, there's 3 companies I'd like to thank that are involved in our safety and our software system support. First one being Rally Navigator. Huge thanks to Mike Shirley. If you're not using his software system to create your road books, I can honestly say you're at a complete disadvantage. And to quote him, his software program is very intuitive, and it'll definitely streamline the process of creating your rally navigation road books. Yeah. Next one, Rally Comp. They're on board for the 2nd year in a row. Last year it was Jim Pearson who came out and provided all the installation and technical support for all the competitors. This year, Mike Johnson's coming, and he's also competing. So he's got some pretty big tasks to handle before Sunday. Yeah. So we're using them. In our opinion, they're.
Ooh, internet fail. I can actually kind of finish it. Well, I'm not going to finish it. I'm not going to put words in his mouth. But on the rally comp side of things, I can speak to that as former race director at Baja Rally. That thing's badass and it is a lifesaver. Even with the late nights, they would have been much later without that thing. So everything that Mike Johnson and all those guys are doing is A1. Let's see here. Uh-oh, everybody's dropping. What's going on? I thought you guys liked talking to me. Brian, are you still there? No, did that jump out? Oh, man. It's me talking to myself. All right. So anyway, so Rally Comp, we've been using that. I used it a few different times, and I've done the tracking and things like that using that system that Mike Johnson has developed, and it's absolutely amazing being able to message a rider that's on his way into the sunset. So it's completely awesome to be able to have that ability, and it's awesome to see that they're on board with the Cotah Rally. Ooh. Scott, you there?
Yeah, I somehow dropped off, so yeah. I'm back.
All right, welcome back. So let's see here. Yeah, I don't know what. I'm not sure what happened to Mike and Brian. Oh, they're there. There's Brian.
Yeah. All right. So I'm back. So just continuing on where I left off with Rally Comp. So one other thing with regards to Rally Comp, there's 3 critical elements that. Our federal agency partners looked at, and it was the fact that system allows us to ensure that our competitors are complying with certain speed restrictions on federal lands. They were impressed that it enables us to accurately track their positions at all times. And then lastly was the ability to communicate through the Rally Comp with 2-way messaging in the event that competitors' bike becomes disabled or that they go down. So those 3 things were big selling points to the federal agency partners in our permitting process. And then lastly, on the safety and software system support, this year we're adding Spotwalla, and that's a tertiary system that we're implementing for safety. It's a personal location management system. that enables us to collect all the real-time data from every competitor and support team's in-reach device, and then it plots that into the map so we can see where everybody's at. And then it also enables us to monitor location, speed, and time, similar to what the Rally Comp does. And then in the event that there is a competitor that's injured or their bike experiences mechanical failure, we can then take that data and then dispatch the respective support crews to them as quickly as possible. We just tested that system last week with Mo Hart of American Rally Originals as he was validating our routes, and it worked flawlessly. And anybody who's familiar with that system, unfortunately, we have our system set up as a private event, so it won't be available for public viewing, but we may be looking to expand that in the future, working with Jason from Spotwalla. So
nice.
And then just lastly, with regards to the support, I just want to, there's a bunch of other entities out there that are providing some level of support, whether it's giving us a platform to promote our event or providing other services to us. So just take a few minutes to thank them. Most importantly is the volunteers. Without them, none of this would be possible. Since last year, we had 10 competitors and about 10 volunteers to support them last year. In less than a year's time, we've grown by 200%. We have 31 registered competitors this year and about 20 volunteers supporting the effort. So monumental effort to grow that much in such a short period of time. So thanks to the volunteers. You, Victor, at Chasing Waypoints, for providing us the opportunity to come on here and for continuing to promote us. I just listened to your recent podcast you did with the American Rally Originals and the Dakar competitors. Thanks for mentioning our event and promoting us there. I'd like to thank Scott Bright. He allowed us to come out to his event that he held out in Apple Valley earlier this year. He did a road book training event. He allowed us to go out there and talk to the people that attended that and to allow us to promote our event. Other companies that have been promoting us, Moto Minded, Chris Vestal, Enduro Spec Suspensions, Warren Healy, Freedom Rally Racing. Man, I can't thank Robert Mann, Scott, and Sandy Spears enough wanting to align with us and come on board. They're in the business of doing an Arrive and Ride support program, but being that the Cotah Rally is a Molly Moto event, they're still interested to come out and provide all the support required to make sure that every competitor is getting to the start line on Monday morning. And then they're going to continue to follow on to every bivouac and provide verbal technical assistance to any competitors that may need it to make repairs to their bikes. So huge thanks to Freedom Rally Racing. Willem Avenant Racing. William's our international shipping go-to guy. And I only mean that jokingly, but thanks to Willem, he's bringing all the Mira Activewear Contingency Awards over to the U.S. for us, so thanks to him. Montrose County Event Center, thanks to Stonyfield and Faith Dunlop for giving us a facility to have our tech and registration. Vamoose Gear Company, who's based out of Montrose, Colorado. Thanks to Jeff and Linda Kleist for opening their shop on Sunday, a day they're normally closed, to give the riders an opportunity to get anything they may have forgotten or need last minute. Avante Markets, Richard Harvey, for providing all the drinking water containers for the event. RaceDesert.com, Klaus Rasch, for giving us the opportunity to advertise and promote our event on RaceDesert.com. Upshift Magazine, for allowing us to contribute content and story to them about our event, post-event. Canvas Credit Union, Sue Graves, who happens to be Mike's wife, for handling all the financial aspects for Cotah Rally. Big thanks to Southern Nevada Off-Road Racing Enthusiasts, specifically Kenny Freeman, CJ Hutchins, Journey Richardsons, for providing insight into the BLM permitting process and contingency program management. Similarly, Mojave Off-Road Enthusiast Cody Jeffers, for providing the same level of insight for permitting. Colorado Off-Road Championship Series, Corks, George over there, for allowing Mike and I to go out and do some photography testing at the Corks 12-hour earlier this year. And then lastly, Horsefly Brewing Company in Montrose, Colorado. Thanks to Phil and Melanie Frusmith, their entire staff. They're allowing us to host for the second time in a row the 2022 Cotah Rally After Party. Nice. So, our motto as far as contingency and our support system is support those who support us. So, go check out those companies on their websites and their social media. And, thanks to everybody. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay. Am I back?
You're back. Sorry, it's been internet challenges.
Victor, always happens to me. Every time we connect, it always happens to me.
I know. I don't know what it is. Well, wait a minute. Well, this is an important part too. Internet. I saw a post. Are we all now on the Starlink network?
That would be Brian's on Starlink.
Nice. Yeah, that's. Let's see if we get a couple of microphones muted. I don't know where we're getting the feedback from. But let's see if we get. We'll move on to that. Thank you guys. All right, Mike. Let's get to this. All right, we've you guys have grown the event. It's awesome to hear the contingency and everything that's going on, the terrain features and all of that stuff. But what kind of bike do I need for this? Let's get some more people to the event, but they may already own the bike they need. Oh, you there? Oh, let's see. Let me go back here. It still shows. No, he still shows he's there. All right.
Yeah, Victor, this is Brian. I could talk a little bit to the bike so Mike can come back on. All right, yeah. So obviously we get a lot of inquiries about adventure bikes, the 690, 790, 890 category KTMs and other larger adventure bikes. In reality, the terrain, not to say that there aren't maybe some capable riders out there that could do it, but, it's definitely an advantage to have a smaller bike, KTM 540s, 390s, stuff like that. So we've placed a limit on the CC output to 540 CCs and below. Okay. It's just, not that there's a whole lot of enduro style of riding to this, but, there are terrain challenges with steep uphills and as Scott mentioned earlier, rock ledges and all. So, it's more catered to that. I mean, last year we had competitors on, Hondas, KTMs, Huskies, Betas, and our entries this year are the similar category of bikes. Most being 450s, I would say, is the go-to CC output of the bikes. Last year we saw various different configurations of rally light systems to full-blown rally towers from the various different manufacturers. One critical thing that came up late this year, that was a permitting requirement that Grand County, Utah had placed on us was to operate on the lands within their county. They wanted us to implement mandatory EPA stamping on the muffler and silencer system with a rating of 82 decibels or less. So that created a lot of last minute confusion and questioning from our competitors. But I can honestly say that they all stepped up and they all did what they had to do to make sure that they had a compliant exhaust system, because a large majority of our stages do run through Grand County, Utah. So thanks to our competitors for that. And then, the other complexity with the exhaust is that anytime you're running on U.S. Forest Service land, you got to have a U.S. Forest Service approved spark arrestor. So we had to balance all that to make sure that the bikes were compliant. And going back to the Grand County thing, they want us to certify in writing no later than Monday morning when the first competitor takes off on the start line that those systems are compliant. Otherwise, our permit was hanging in the wind. And having to deal with that 6 weeks out was, put us into a little bit of a panic mode, but we all came together, worked with all of our partners to ensure that everybody would have a compliant bike. The other things with the bikes, traditional rally tower setup, you have a rally computer for CAP and one for Odo. A lot of competitors choose to have that, and then they supplement it with the tertiary abilities of the rally comp computer. It's not necessary to have all three devices. You could essentially do the route with what the rally comp's capabilities are. Mm-hmm. But to have that redundancy built in is important. As far as the bikes, another big hot topic is having to run DOT tires and why competitors can't run mooses. And anybody who's who's into motorcycles and any form of off-road riding, they understand the benefits and the abilities that mooses provide in eliminating flats and reducing the overall likelihood that you would sustain a flat. But unfortunately, at this point in time, I'm only aware of one foreign company that's pursuing a DOT-rated moose, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. But unfortunately, at this point in time, since there are no DOT-approved mooses, we're not allowed to run them because our what we call our liaison or transition sections do require the competitors to go over publicly traveled roadways, so we have to make sure that we're adhering to that. Obviously, all the bikes need to be plated because of traveling on the public roadway systems, insurance and all that stuff that you would typically associate with having a registered motorcycle for highway use. So, those are the basics of the bikes. I think every bike's got to have the ability to do at least, I think Mike said 150 or 160 mile fuel capacity. There will be one stage where we're doing, several stages where the competitors have the opportunity to stop for a mandatory 10-minute stop, take on fuel, take a break, get some food in themselves and drink some water. And then we do have one remote fueling station that's going to be occurring during
Are we experiencing an internet break here? Yeah, maybe it looks like it. Let's restart this thing and get these guys going. But a lot of great information. That's one of the biggest things that I think that was for the that is about the excuse me. I'm trying to send links and do all this stuff multitasking at the same time. But basically, that was one of the big challenges for the Cotah rally, was that being in the stateside, having to deal with a bunch of different organizations and things like that they were very, very strict on what kind of regulation, like DOT standards, being out on the field, being all, in these areas. They had a lot of rules about having the bikes correctly set up here. So let's turn the internet there off. So that I remember that initially there was a lot of challenges with that, and people were kind of upset that, this sucks. I'm going to have to convert the bike, do DOT, do all of this stuff, and to get the bike 100% compliant for this event. But it's kind of part of it. We want nice things here in the States, and that was just kind of the deal is, you need to have some kind of compliance as far as with the highway safety. So if that's, making sure that you're on DOT tires, making sure that you're not running the mooses, because unfortunately they're not set yet. And then from there, making sure that, you have mirrors, your turn signals, things like that. It's a little bit of a challenge, but it also makes it great for those dual sport bikes that are already set up for it. So once you get one of those bikes done and ready, then it's just a matter of, a phone call with one of these guys. It could be specifically like Rally Moto Shop. They've got a bunch of different stuff that you can do if you want to go handlebars or handlebar setup for a Rally Light, or if you want to go full send with one of their like Sonora towers or one of the other setups that they have available. So let's see if we're back on.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Mike, we can hear you.
Like I said, it's always me, dude. It's me. I touch it, that happens.
Yeah.
It's always me.
It's the internet. We can only count on so much.
Yeah. But what Brian covered, what I would have said in a great way. The only thing that we had thrown into the ringer was Grand County. And that was a last minute thing. They have such an overturn of people in their county government. They did not know anything about it. And then they found out that
he died off again.
Okay, this is just the internet and the world. Well, hopefully we won't be having these things with the Starlink setup. But my guess is that what he was going to was talking about the exhaust thing.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, so with the exhaust thing, I think what he was going to start off by saying was that the current board of commissioners in Grand County this year had no knowledge that we actually even had our event in their county last year because there's been such a huge turnover. So with the new board of commissioners that were there, they were looking at us like this was our inaugural event coming through their county. So they didn't have a whole lot of knowledge about what rally raid was. So we had to, re-explain what the whole premise of our event was, and how, it's time, distance, speed, but it's not driven by, overall top speed. It's a combination of your ability to safely navigate the terrain, to hit waypoints and so forth. So fortunately, like I said, that was a last minute thing that had come up. But we've come to a resolution in that, and they're looking forward to having our event. We're looking forward to working with them in the future. But yeah, it all stemmed around the exhaust issue. So
yeah, they didn't know that we had. It's just a ball dropper is all it was on their end, basically. But we got it rectified. They gave us a unanimous vote by the county commissioners for a rally, and they were pretty impressed with the way our system was set.
Yeah. And I mean, and you guys have been at this for, last year was the first event, but you guys have been at this for multiple years already, permitting, working on all of these things, and just trying to get this thing going. So I can imagine a little bit frustrating, but I mean, it looks like it was something you guys were quickly able to overcome.
Adapt and overcome.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'm like, I'll let them finish that one. But no, that's awesome. And I mean, you know what? Every event is going to have its monkey wrenches and things like that, but it's awesome. I feel like to some of these, I don't know how if you explain rally, if you say rally raid, they don't know what you're talking about, but it's a navigation event. They have to navigate. I don't know. It's semantics, right? Is how you say it and how they perceive it. I most definitely know the easiest way to not get permits is to say it's an off-road race.
Oh yeah. You don't want to. You never want to mention the word race when you're speaking to land managers, because that immediately brings up,
Yeah, so a lot of people may have bad taste in their mouth, and there was, we've seen it. Unfortunately, there was some incidents out in the Southern California desert that it's happened. Things have happened, and of course the BLM is going to be a little bit gun shy, so it just makes it that much bigger of a deal what you guys have been able to achieve getting this event up off the ground. And then now second year contingency sponsors, the terrain, everything that you guys are doing, and then the entries are up. I'm absolutely excited. I mean, I hope next year same thing, basically the entries double in size, or you guys hit your limit, right? Do you guys have a entry limit for this?
Yeah, so last year and this year, the permits were limited to 40 competitors.
Okay.
Moving into 2023, we're working with Forest Service and BLM to do a NEPA study. And depending on the results of the NEPA study, we may be able to increase to 100. I will say that.
He dropped.
He did. So NEPA study, I'm guessing, is it's basically an impact study.
Yeah, correct. And each land management office would be responsible for that. And that brings in quite a bit of additional work. And some of the land managers basically require that they be paid to do it. So we would, like I said, we're in negotiations doing that, and it will kind of be dependent if we can get them all on board, because if we have one or two holdouts, then it's all for nothing anyway.
Yeah.
And all we do is end up spending funds that we really don't have, and it wouldn't result in being able to go over that 40.
Gotcha.
And the whole thing is Victor's logistics. We operate under a leave no footprint.
Mm-hmm.
We want a very small impact in the backcountry. But the first and foremost thing is we want that quality experience over quantity. The more people we get, the more issues you have. We want every competitor to enjoy that rally raid feeling when they get in the start box. And we do that separation in time, whether that be a 1 minute start separation or a 2 minute start separation. We want them, when they get into the backcountry, to look around and
yeah, he dropped again. Yeah. So, whenever our guys were out there last year, I think they had somewhere in the neighborhood of
8 to 10 other riders that were sharing the trail with them. And, that's always something that we just want to drill into guys whenever they start off in the morning. They're sharing that trail with the public. They're sharing that trail with livestock. They're sharing that trail with other competitors that may be lost and they may be backtracking. So, they need to operate as if around every corner there's something there that is going to change your life dramatically.
Yeah, that has the potential to. And that goes without saying. I mean, I don't even if they tell you it's on a closed course, you never know. And especially with competitors, and you could definitely be that's one of the things with that's the equalizer on Rally Raid. You could literally be on the correct path, but the guy navigating in front of you somehow got turned around and thinks he's on the wrong path. So he's on his way back to where he knew he was, where he knew for sure. So at any given moment, what you think is a closed course, meaning nobody's going to be coming the other way, is actually one of your competitors. It could be literally the guy that was in front of you after 2 minutes at the start. So,
right.
So yeah, I completely agree. You always, especially in this form of racing, off-road racing is a little different. You've got arrows. You're kind of usually going forward looking, but here you've got no other indication rather than a note. And sometimes the only thing you have left to do is go back to the previous note and start over. And
yes.
so,
absolutely.
Yeah. So we definitely want to watch out. And I mean, it's I've part of it, the personal side of it is, I agree. I love what you guys are doing, right? Leave no trace, everything, pack it in, pack it out. I mean, it's just, that's how it should be, I mean, the terrain, it's going to change a little bit with the bikes going through there, but that's completely different when there's trash and things associated with it. I just sometimes have a hard time, with the organizations or the local governments that everybody wants to charge, a fee, for their study, for their version, and they won't use the others, or they're in different areas. So it makes it kind of difficult. Where my experience with Baja, it was like, the biggest line item is literally an environmental impact study, but it was usually one organization, and wherever we were, it covered it. So it sounds like you guys got a little bit of a challenge with that coming up, but I'm sure it'll pan out.
Well, we've done a lot of stuff that no one thought was possible, so we'll see what happens.
What's one more, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys got a lot of agencies on board, and not only that, I mean, to be fair, you guys are in 2 states, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So is there, as far as the route goes, a pretty even split, or?
It's probably, I haven't put the exact numbers to it. Have you, Brian?
I'd say we're pretty close to 50-50 as far as the amount of kilometers that will be in each state. We're pretty 50-50, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. And then if you guys can disclose roughly about how many kilometers or miles are these guys looking at for this year?
Originally was about 1,126K.
Okay.
I think we had to make a couple of minor adjustments, so we're right at about 1,060. So we're pretty close to what we projected.
Nice. So for those playing the home game, that's kilometers. So miles, that's roughly what, 600 and something, 620-ish, 630-ish in the week. So that's a pretty good week.
Mike, are you on?
It shows this is weird.
Yeah.
It shows he's connected, but it doesn't, but we don't hear him.
Yeah, mine kept dropping off. I'm not sure what was going on, but
yeah.
I think final tally on the previous road book was in the neighborhood of 700 miles.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Nice. Well, that is definitely a good. That's a good ride for the event, and I mean, and it's a beautiful 700 miles, I'm sure. And
oh yeah,
some people will be cursing it, but
sometimes the cursing part will just occur in a place where there's really not much to look at except kind of a rock face, and maybe a mud hole that was deeper than you anticipated.
Yeah, you learn how fast mud stops a dirt bike.
Oh, yeah. It can bruise up your thighs.
Nice. And so have all three of you guys ridden all the road books already, ready to go?
Brian hasn't been able to. He's He's working out some kinks with his bike, but Mike and I we've rode every foot of it. So
nice. That's awesome. Well, that's good. I mean, it sounds like we're ready. Any big final prep for this last week, or are you guys taking the week off?
Oh God, no.
I knew the answer to that one.
Yeah, all the last minute stuff that over the course of a year in between, and the fact that the gray matter is up there at 59 years of use and probably abuse. Yeah, things get forgotten and remembered usually right about the hour before you're leaving.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny how that always works.
Yep.
But nice. Well, good. I mean, I'm glad that we're back at it again this year. Next year, for sure, this is on the calendar to head out there. And I'm going to be trying to share, when I see you guys announce stage winners and leaders and stuff like that, I'll definitely be sharing that because, I mean, this is it. You guys are pioneers. You've got one off the ground. You've got the AMA now backing you guys. So I'm excited to see this event grow even further.
It'll give people an option of not having to visit a foreign country to have a sanctioned event.
Yeah, absolutely. That's true. And not only that, but I mean, it is right in our own backyard. It's built the right way. Everything, all of the amenities and things that you have within reach. And, like you said, it's kind of feeling a little more secure about not having to go into a whole nother country, dealing with logistics, transporting your bike across an international border and things like that. Where personally, I know, and it's relatively easy, but there is always that chance. There is, people are people, and there's always that one guy at the border that decides he's not having a great day, and so he's going to make sure everybody knows about it.
Yep.
So, yeah. But that's good. Well, awesome. Well, I'm going to let you guys go. We're going to jump back to it, and then we'll get some updates. Who should I reach out to for updates? Who's going to be?
Yeah, Victor. So this is Brian. So okay. I'm going to try to be doing stuff live every night. Okay. We're trying to raise the whole level of exposure. So we anticipate interviewing competitors every night and then posting our results nightly. Okay. And that was the whole reason why we wanted to bring Starlink on board, so we can do that. So yeah, I'll definitely be the point of contact for that, and I'll be tagging in and all the social media stuff. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let's get that going. And so speaking of social media, what should people be following? Who should they be following, and where?
All right. So we're in order to streamline our marketing approach, right? We want to simplify things to kind of curb some of the adventure rider inquiries we're getting. So currently right now we have Cotah _rally_adventures was the original page. Mm-hmm. And then after September 30th, we're transitioning to just at Cotah _rally. Mm-hmm. In the meantime, we've been redundantly posting all the content to both pages, and we'll continue to do that through the end of the event. But moving forward after that, and then the website is www.CotahRallyAdventures.com. Mm-hmm. That will also be changing. We'll be simplifying that to CotahRally.com also after September 30th.
Nice. Excellent. Yeah, so I will put those links in the description, and then we'll start getting the tags correct and everything, and I'll reach out to you and get that list of sponsors again, so I can make sure to include their ats and hashtags on any of the posts, so make sure they're getting some coverage and recognition for stepping up.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, Victor.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. So any final things? I'm going to reach out to Mike here after the call and just see how he's doing. And we had a little bit of technical difficulty on that side.
Yeah, as far as the adventure bikes go, I have no doubt that there are riders that could accomplish this. The issue goes back to the recovery. Mm-hmm. If we were to have an 1190 go down because of mechanical failure, there are some places that we would have to disassemble that bike to get it out of there.
Yeah.
So that is the biggest issue there.
Yeah. No, and I agree. I mean, that's There are some very talented riders, and and after talking to Scott Spears and hearing his adventure with some of those guys and riding these Black Diamond trails on these things, I know there's people, and that's the thing, is those things have the horsepower to solve a lot of problems that a 500 doesn't.
Yes.
So the problem with that is they will climb some hills and some things that are pretty gnarly that you don't want to turn around and come back down on a bike that heavy, because horsepower is one thing, brakes are another. So, and mass are completely different things. But that's kind of what I've been leaning on doing this adventure raid stuff, even down here in San Diego, is that there is a ton, like the market is there. There's no doubt that there's a ton of adventure bikes and they want that stuff. But I think the rallies and the things that we're going to be able to expose them to are going to be based more on fire roads and areas where it's, one, easily accessible, and two, you got to turn down the difficulty a little bit just because of the size of the bikes.
The mass.
Yeah, exactly.
It all ends up being, simple physics. Something that weighs a lot going in a straight line is going to continue a straight line.
Yeah, weighing a lot.
Yes.
So you can plow through. I mean, and that's in talking to Chris from Rottweiler Performance when we were talking about the rally bike setup. He mentioned, it's the hardest thing for that bike was getting into the corners. It accelerates so fast and so hard that it's hard to judge the closing speed on the corners and get it roped back in time, because the tire is still a 140, the front tire is still a 90/90. So now you've just got 400 pounds of bike instead of 250 pounds of bike.
Right.
And almost double the horsepower, but who's counting?
Yes.
Nice. Well, cool. Excellent. Mike.
Can you hear me?
Fingers crossed. Yes, we can hear you. We are.
Well, guys, let those guys did the talking.
Yeah.
I've got stuff I have to do for the rally. So how it is, Victor, doing that Rally X stuff. So.
Oh yes, I know. Yeah, so I was going to say, I know you guys are busy, and I know for sure you're not taking this week off. So.
Oh no.
I know. But get to it.
All I got to say is this: is Mother Nature has changed the terrain, and 14 days or less from the time Scott and I were doing our final inspection of the route to when Mo Hart and I went out and he did the verification ride.
Yeah. Totally
different terrain, so it's going to be some good riding.
All right. So everybody playing the home game, you heard it. If you're headed there, be ready. Nice. Well, I'm looking forward to sharing the post, watching the event from afar, and then and sharing some of the stuff and seeing how this goes. And next year, this is going on the calendar. I'll be there in person for sure.
All right. Thank you very much.
Excellent, guys. Yeah, I appreciate it. Enjoy the week. Good luck, and I'll be talking to you guys soon.
Thanks, Victor.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. All right, guys. So there you have it. Mike, Brian, and Scott from the Cotah Rally. So I'm absolutely excited. Like I said, I mean, there's a lot of work that has gone into this event. I mean, that is hands down without, and not to say that none of the other events, but usually it's maybe one major agency, a few of the ejidos, a few of the landowners, things like that you've got to work with. But here you're talking about multiple government agencies, and each one of those government agencies is very, it's funny. I know the word in Spanish, exigente. So they're very demanding on what kind of things that they need, and rightfully so, right? Because, where we are at in this day and age, it's like if something goes sideways, we need to be able to show the documentation and the proof of that everything is within the bounds of the law and what they are requiring and what they are asking of the organizations or of the competitors and things like that. So in the end, that's just a bunch of paperwork and all of that stuff. We're a week away from the Cotah Rally. It's going to be an absolutely great event. Hope you guys are able to check it out. Follow along on the different social medias. You definitely want to be checking that out. One, Cotah_rally, then Cotah_rally adventures. I think we should all just be working on following the Cotah_rally side of things just to get that transition going. As you heard them, they're going to change the website as well to CotahRally.com. I'll have the links in the description if you guys want to check that out. I'll be tagging them and sharing their posts and things like that because this event needs to grow. We need help. We are creating our Rally Raid community and our Rally Raid family here in the U.S., and it is coming along very nicely. So I've got some stuff headed your guys' way to make it very easy for you guys to get into the rally side of things with a quick recipe that's going to work quick and dirty. It's going to be a lot better on the pocketbook. You won't need to reach out to Visa for sponsorship or American Express or your credit card of choice. But the idea is that we'll come up with a game plan. We'll all work together. If you guys are going to be in the Southern California area, once I can get some of these road books finished up, buttoned up, we'll be doing some adventure raid stuff. You can run the setup because that's what I'm going to be running, so that way it's all proofed and ready to go. So I am absolutely excited. We've got a lot of adventure bikes. We've got a lot of stuff going. We've got Rally Month coming up right now in October, right after the Cotah Rally. Have a few weeks off to get the bikes ready, and then it is straight to Mexico for Baja Rally. 6-day, and then a couple weeks later, it's going to be the Sonora Rally as well. So absolutely stoked, excited to be down there and getting some coverage and talking to you guys live from the event. So, man, stay tuned. Here we go. All right, with that being said, guys, do not forget, it'll make sense when you get there. Enjoy the ride. All right, that is the wrap for the Chasing Waypoints podcast this week. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what you heard. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and a bunch of others. Also, follow us on social media. You can find us on Facebook under Chasing Waypoints, Instagram, Chasing Waypoints _official, and, of course, the YouTube under Chasing Waypoints. Hope everybody has a good week. We will see you guys for the next episode. Remember, shiny side up, and don't forget to tag us. We want to see where you guys are riding and what you guys are up to. Have a great week.